Origins. Rei was born in Tokyo in 1942. Now, if you stop and think about that setting for a moment, this was a Japan rising from the literal and metaphorical ashes of World War II. It was a culture caught in a massive identity crisis, torn between rigid ancient tradition and a frantic, neon-soaked rush towards a technological future. Rei grew up in an academic household. Her father was an administrator at Keio University, a prestigious institution. She lived a life that, on the surface, appeared very ordered, but the real spark of rebellion, the DNA of Comme des Garçons, came from her mother. In a move that was practically unheard of in the 1950s in Japan, her mother left her father to pursue an independent life. In a patriarchal society where a woman's identity was entirely tied to her husband, this was an act of war. That refusal to be a subservient wife became the blueprint of Rei's mission. What's fascinating is that Rei didn't study fashion. She didn't learn to drape or sew in a design school. She studied fine arts and aesthetics. Aesthetics refers to the branch of philosophy that studies the nature of art and taste. She was reading the why of art, while other future designers were sketching hemlines. When she graduated in 1964, she landed a job in the advertising department of a textile company called Asahi Kasei.
I don't Muslimanity?
She was a stylist on photo shoots, but she was constantly frustrated. She'd look at the racks of clothes provided for the models, dresses that were designed to make women look like dolls or objects of desire, and she loathed them. She couldn't find clothes that looked the way she felt. Powerful, strange, fierce. So out of sheer frustration and necessity, she started making them herself. The revolution. In 1969 is when she started her own label, Comme des Garçons. It's French for like the boys. It wasn't about being masculine or tomboyish in a cute way. It was about the energy of a boy, unrestricted, playful, and free from the suffocating expectations placed on a woman. By the late 70s, she was a cult hit in Japan. Her followers were nicknamed the Crows because they dressed in layers of oversized, ragged black fabric. But the world didn't truly shake until October 1981. This was Rei's debut in Paris. I want you to visualize the fashion landscape of the 80s. This was the era of power dressing, think Mugler, think Giorgio Armani, big shoulder pads, neon colors, high heels, glamour, and femininity. Fashion was about status and sex. The lights go up, the model walk out with no makeup, hair that looks like it's been windblown for days, and garments that look broken. There were sweaters with massive holes, skirts with asymmetrical cuts, and raw-edged fabrics. Everything was black, gray, or dark navy, and needless to say, the Western critics were horrified.
A pack of idiot bitches, and I'm sick of them already.
They called it, quite controversially, Hiroshima chic. They asked, where is the body? Why is she making women look poor? Why is it so ugly? But they were missing the whole point.
Got mine screwed by me, and it worked.
Rei wasn't interested in pretty. She was looking for newness. She once famously said, if I do something that I think it's new, it will be misunderstood. But if people like it, I would be disappointed because I haven't pushed them enough. That 1981 show was year zero for modern fashion. It proved that clothing didn't have to be a decoration, it could be a statement. The philosophy. Let's dig into the philosophy that drives her, because this is where the title of our episode really comes to life. Rei's work is deeply rooted in Japanese concepts that are almost the opposite of Western beauty standards. Wabi-sabi. This is the art of finding beauty in the imperfect, the impermanent, and the incomplete. In the West, luxury means flawless. It means a diamond with no inclusions or a silk dress with a perfect seam. Rei did the opposite. Ma. This is one of my favorite concepts. It literally means the space between. In Western fashion, we focus on silhouette. How fabric hugs the curves and how it accentuates the shape. But for Rei, the space between is literally the space between the fabric and the skin, which for her is the most important part. But the most important, the key to her shapes is fukinsei. In Zen aesthetics, fukinsei refers to asymmetry and irregularity. In Western design, we are obsessed with balance and symmetry. We want the left side of a jacket to match the right. We want the symmetry because it feels safe and correct. But Rei rejects this entirely. For her, symmetry is stagnant. Fukinsei is about the beauty of the unbalanced. This irregularity forces the viewer to actually look, to stop and observe. You can't just glance, you have to investigate them. It creates a sense of movement, of controlled chaos that mirrors the unpredictability of nature itself. The most important staple of her work is the color black. Rei transformed it. She used black to strip away the noise so that you had to focus on the shape and the shadow. She famously said, "There are many shades of black."
What? Oh. Okay.
For her, it wasn't a depressing color, it was powerful and protective. She wasn't just designing a dress, she was designing a sculpture that happened to be worn by a human. Lumps and bumps. If you want to see her philosophy in its most extreme, provocative form, we have to talk about Spring-Summer 1997. It was officially titled Body Meets Dress, Dress Meets Body, but the fashion world will forever know it as lumps and bumps. Imagine a model walking down the runway in a classic gingham print, but as she turns, you see her body is distort. Underneath the fabric, Rei had placed large bulbous pads. She placed it on the back, on the hip, on the shoulders. It looked like the body was mutating. It was a massive middle finger to heroin chic and the supermodel standards of the 90s.
You skinny bitches are evil and you need to be destroyed!
The collection was polarizing. Some critics found it grotesque, others offensive, but the legendary choreographer Cunningham loved it so much that he had Rei design the costumes for his dance piece Scenario. So as time passed and as Rei got older, she got even more radical. And around 2014, she decided that she was not gonna make clothing. That means that she stopped caring if a garment had armholes or if you could sit down in it. Did in 2017 when the Metropolitan Museum of Art of New York, which is the same institution that hosts the Met Gala, dedicated its Costume Institute exhibit to her. This was a massive deal. Rei was only the second living designer to ever be given a solo show at the Met. The first one was Yves Saint Laurent back in the 80s with Diana Vreeland. If you saw the Met Gala that year, you would see celebrities struggling to navigate the red carpet. And I think Rihanna wore a Comme des Garçons piece that looked like a mountain of florals. It was a reminder to the world that fashion doesn't have to be wearable to be meaningful. Sometimes fashion is just art. Now you might be thinking, this all sounds very artsy, this is all very cutesy, but how is she not broke?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
And this is the secret genius of this woman. She is a titan of business. She owns 100% of a company, so no giant luxury conglomerate tells her what to do. And she created Dover Street Market, which is essentially a high-concept department store. She also created the Play line, you know, the one with the little red heart with the eyes. That heart logo funds her art. She uses the commercial side of her business to protect her creative side. She has built an empire on her own terms without ever chasing fame. Her power is quiet, but it's absolute. Rei Kawakubo once said, "I've always pursued a new way of interpreting beauty. As we've seen today, that pursuit often means being misunderstood. It means being called ugly or crazy. It means having the courage to stand in the dark when everyone else is rushing towards the light." Thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Rei Kawakubo's mind. If you enjoyed this journey, please comment and subscribe. This was Fashionology. See you next time.